anything happen? Anything fun, funny, interesting?
Oh,
Just lived a boring week.
last 2 weeks.
We talked about our construction on Millie's wall in the last episode.
Yeah, we can't do that again.
There has to be something.
There's not.
But I've got like the worm open in mind what I want to do.
For RFK?
Or oh no,
The warm open or worm open?
warm.
Oh, I think you said warm or
Hold on.
worm open.
Warm. Is that how you say it? Is this the cold open? Are we gonna sit here talk about how this differentiate between
So you were
warm and
saying
warm?
warm as in like hot.
Yes.
Okay, I thought you said worm.
No, not warm. Although we could talk about RFK. You want to talk about his brain worm?
Jesus
I
Christ.
do think it's interesting that he's put himself in that. Okay, so obviously we're gonna end up political sometimes. It's just gonna happen. But it's funny that like he was like, oh, I'm the younger, more viral, healthy candidate between the two alternatives, so you should definitely vote for me. And then it comes out in an op-ed that
Oh,
he
is this
said
part of the conversation?
yes.
Oh, well,
We were having
we
before
need
you
to
just so
restart it
rudely.
then.
No, we're not resetting it. The whole we're gonna start with what are we gonna talk about? It's been a boring 2 weeks, and you just fucking ruined the whole thing. And now we're like in the fifth dimension of this whole conversation now. We broke the fifth wall in this whole thing.
Oh, fuck.
So RFK talked about how he's the most virile choice of the three of them, and then it comes out in an op-ed that a couple years ago he said that he had a brain worm that ate part of his brain.
And it just makes no sense to me because he admitted, or it was found out, I don't remember the exact context, that he has diminished brain capacity.
Right.
So, one that makes me wonder if that's why he talks the way he does. Have you ever heard him speak?
I don't. Maybe bits and pieces,
Oh,
but not a
it's
lot.
terrible the way he speaks. It's weird.
It's more like his stances on things is
But
what I
yeah,
just
the
like.
stances on everything is so wild. But like, so how are you going to tell me that you think between Biden being candidate A, Trump being candidate B, and Kennedy being candidate C, that candidate A is too old, candidate B is
Isn't he literally like 4 years younger?
4 years younger, Trump is 4 years younger.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me that he was too old, Biden was too old 4 years ago,
Right when he entered,
but
but
now
Trump's
Trump
perfect
is the same
age.
age
Right.
and is perfect age. That's out the window. Biden is Sleepy Joe.
Well, obviously it doesn't matter because his supporters are wearing diapers to his
I was
rallies
about to get to
now.
that. Biden is Sleepy Joe, yet Trump has fallen asleep in his court cases. He's farting, and now people are saying that it's okay to wear diapers as men. Real men wear diapers. They're wearing them at his campaign rallies.
Yep.
And then we have RFK, who says all the shit that he says, all the craziness. Steve Bannon is the person who got him to run, who is Trump's like right hand man for a while. Stephen Bannon was, and he's going to prison now.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to tell me that nobody sees the parallel between, or the connection between Trump and RFK like running together
Right.
to like try and suck votes. And then also he has a brain worm and you're going to tell me that he's fit to be president, but Biden, who has a stutter, isn't.
I just think there's two things funny about his brain worm. One is, one is he said, "Oh yeah, I had a worm, parasitic worm in my brain, and it ate part of my brain, and then it died." So it's funny because it obviously wasn't nutritious enough for the brain. There wasn't enough things nourishing the worm to keep it alive, and it ate part of his brain and then immediately died. And then the second thing that's funny is like, yeah, I have a brain. I had a worm in my brain that's still there, and it ate part of my brain, and then it died. It's like, no, that explains a lot of your stances and what
Right.
you say.
Oh,
That
God.
explains everything now.
It's just like, we just need to burn it all down to the ground and just start over.
So how we're going to open this episode is democracy's dead,
Yeah.
or not dead, but doomed.
We're not going to get too political beyond that.
No,
I promise.
we'll just leave it there.
We're not going to alienate any voters
So
or any listeners.
democracy's doomed, and RFK has a dead worm in his brain.
I really cannot imagine. having a president who had a brainworm.
It's still there, supposedly. He never got removed. I don't remember anything about it being removed.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
A brain worm?
Yeah.
It is when you're fucking RFK, I guess. Kennedy curse or something.
Oh god.
Well, Doom Democracy seems
The
like
Kennedy curse is very interesting.
good place to start off this episode.
Yeah. I've gone down the rabbit hole about the Kennedy curse before, and it's very interesting.
We're about to get into conspiracies.
But then you also like look at how big that family is too, and I'm like, is it a curse or is it just because the family is so big it makes it look like it's a curse because things happen to that family?
Right.
So I don't know, but yeah, it's interesting to like kind of read through all that kind of stuff.
All right, doom and gloom out of the way. Let's get started.
Are we doing more doom and gloom?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, all aboard the short bus to hell. Please remember when boarding to keep your hands and feet inside the ride at all times. We are not responsible for missing items, brain lesions, cardiac arrest, the abandonment by a loved one, exploding kittens, or world domination by little green men. We will take credit for a good time and the occasional moistness you might feel at varying locations of your person. This ride may not be for everyone, and if that's you, please find the nearest window to throw yourself from the vessel. Buckle up and enjoy.
Welcome to Great Friends, okay people. I almost said overdue for extinction again. We just recorded a bonus episode in which I almost said Great Friends overdue for extinction, and I just about did. We just had a conversation where I said I wasn't going to do it, that I was prepared to do it the right way, and I floundered it again after saying I wasn't going to flounder it.
So I'm holding auditions for a new co-host.
In the meantime, though, before you find one, I am Anthony, and you are...
I'm Cody.
Cody! Who's a good boy? Good job, Cody! Alright, so...
You asshole!
You deserve a little treat for working as hard as you do, sitting there all pretty and bald, waiting for that head to get polished. Alright, we're moving on. So, if you're new to this episode, and you have absolutely not new to this episode, everybody's new to this episode. If you're new to this podcast and have no idea what's going on, don't worry, neither do we. However,
Clearly,
we don't even know the name of it. This is
not a we.
This is maybe like episode 9.
This is a you problem.
Is this 10 or is this 9?
This is 9, I think.
This is not. You know what that means for next episode.
We gotta do something wild.
Yeah, I'm coming with gummies.
Then you're gonna have to come on like a Friday or a Saturday.
All right, I'll stay the night.
Yeah, because I'm not doing this and I'm going to work.
Like I did.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
If you want to hear about how I got absurdly high and had to go to work the next day while still high, that's a Patreon episode that you can spend as little as $3 a month. You go to Great Friends Okay People at patreon.com, and it was a good story. It was a good time. I mean, it wasn't at the time.
I don't know how you expect me to even want to do that after that experience where I thought you were doing meth.
Just don't do 170 milligrams for the first time.
Yeah, no.
It'll be fine. So if you are new to the podcast, we got way off track. If you're new to the podcast, what we're doing here is bullshitting, essentially.
Basically.
Talking about weird and funny things that happen throughout the world because we are great friends, only okay people, and we're here to prove through other stories that we have found online that we are not the worst of the humanity, that we have found other stories to do, and we have done that so this episode.
Yeah. And sometimes there's been stories where I'm like, are they a better person than me?
And well, after some of the openings I've done, you are for sure certain that some people are better than I.
Yeah.
Also, Patreon content. Don't worry about that one. I offered you 2 routes to take for this episode. I said I initially had some zoo stories.
Yeah.
Some zoo mishaps that are going on in the world in recent history. I think my belly was out again. God damn, this is a real problem. I need to go like exercise or some shit.
Or get clothes that fit you.
Listen, I get clothes that fit me, and then I wear them for like 5 years, and they just shrink and shrink and shrink.
Yeah, so that's when you get new clothes.
But I'm buying video games. I don't have money for clothes.
I get it. Point taken.
Yeah, with your new tattoos. Trace won't let go.
Yeah, Trace thinks I'm loaded.
Trace is like, you spent so much money on these 2 tattoos.
I told him how much my patio furniture cost. And I was like, I got it half off. I was like, shouldn't you be proud of me for finding a deal? And
I'm
um,
gonna mute myself.
he made a comment that you're gonna if I say it, you're gonna have to cut it out of here. Um, but he was like, that's more money than my mom has in her bank account. And I was like, $500. Trace, do you have any concept of money? And he was like, no.
I mean, when he rushes to the store to spend his weekly $6 allowance.
Right, but I'm sitting here, I'm like, dude, yeah. And so like now, I'm actually gonna start making a point of just like getting tiny tattoos just to fuck with him and be like, I got another one.
And then my kids are covered in temporaries because you bought uh, several sheets of temporaries,
Yeah,
and then they took them to the bathroom and handled it
hundreds.
themselves,
I didn't realize every order I got had 100 to 200 sheets in them.
and they just slapped the whole sheets on,
Yeah,
and then just tattooed all over.
because one of Kristen's friend's daughters was like, I want to have more than you do. So then she went and took the entire sheet and just slapped them everywhere. And she comes out and she's like, I got 45. I was like, well, I've only got 14. So
But anyway, I offered you two routes. I had some zoo mishaps, and then I was listening to a podcast earlier called Time Suck by comedian Dan Cummins. And he does, I mean, he does a couple different things. He does mostly deep dives on like cults and serial killers and just really like
I love
bizarre
that.
people of history or whatever. Big events like the CIA, like what's the one MK Ultra. He's done a deep dive on that, and so like he does a lot of really interesting shit like that. And So I listened to one of his short episodes today at work, and it was about um, body selling, exchanging, handling, whatever. And I thought, well, this must be like a history of like way back when. And apparently, there are legal loopholes in a lot of states that allow you to sign away and sell your loved one's corpses to research facilities. Um,
But are you selling it or just donating your body to science?
that's actually the tricky part is there are body brokers. So I don't like remember a lot of it because like I listened to this at like 8 in the morning, so like it was almost 12 hours ago now, and I was working simultaneously, so I don't have like all the details still fresh in my mind. But there are what are called body brokers who can I think you can legally become one online, or like you can get like a certification just really easily. And it's really hard for the U.S. government um, to properly watch over these people because all you have to do is say that you are wanting to obtain a body for medical research or medical purposes, and there's very little oversight.
They just, as of 2023, they took a huge step to regulate it.
Okay, so that must have been a real issue, and we've got some stories to back that up. So he was talking about this and how there was very little laws until very recently, as you just stated last year, and so I was like, that's so wild that bodies were so easy to obtain just by saying, yeah, I am swearing that I'm going to do this in the name of science or research or medical purposes. Um, and like he broke down a list of like what a body is worth as a whole, what a body is worth individually, like in pieces. And it's like you are worth so much more if you can find somebody to properly butcher the pieces off of you. And like a knee is worth like $700, and like a foot or a hand is like worth 500 or something like that.
That's why there's been so many movies about this. Then I didn't realize this is such a huge thing, but
Yeah.
I've always wondered why there was like that opera movie that Paris
Oh,
Hilton
the
was in.
repo
Yeah,
opera.
and like there's so many other movies like steampunk, all like the cyberpunk is all about body brokering,
Yeah.
and it makes so much sense now. Like that, I didn't realize that. I just thought it was some fucked up scenario that people did, but now it makes way more sense.
Yeah, so like I was like, well, there surely can't be that many examples in recent history. And then he started going through different cases that happened. I was like, that's fucked up that this shit is going on. So I made a new outline for another episode, and then I came to you today and I said, we have two routes we can go. We can either do the zoo animals that are kind of mildly entertaining and just bizarre, or we can go real macabre. And I started telling you the things that I had, and you're like, we have to talk about those ones
This
instead.
is so interesting. Okay, now I need to deep dive into this because there's so many Reuters articles about this. Like since 2009, U.S. body brokers, Reuters found, or since 2008, Reuters found U.S. body brokers have exported body parts to at least 45 countries, including Italy, Israel, Mexico, China, Venezuela, and Saudi Arabia. and whole bodies are studied at Caribbean-based medical schools. Plastic surgeons in Germany use dead heads from dead Americans to practice new techniques. That sounds very Nazi occult science practice. Most donor consent forms, including those from Medcure, authorize brokers to dissect bodies and ship parts. So I'd have to do the dissection myself.
Yeah, if you became a body broker, you could either like find someone who can properly butcher the body for the parts that you need, or I mean, you could do it yourself. But there were people who were doing it. He was talking about one person in particular. I can't remember the name of him.
Medcure.
No, it wasn't Medcare. It was one guy who went by like it was something Medical International or something. I can't remember what it was, but he was like just shipping body parts like through like the U.S. mail and UPS and all of that, and they were finding like these heads and stuff in cargo, and there was like a case where they had like 18 heads in the cargo or whatever. So like there's just like regular packages that people are just unknowingly carrying body parts
The FBI
around.
raided it, the headquarters of Medcure in 2017. It's like this has been a huge issue. Apparently, this is insane. I didn't know any of
I
this.
wonder if it was the same dude that maybe had a different like name, company name or whatever.
But it's not something you can do in
But
Ohio.
they said that there were like body parts laying on a table next to like employee lunches, and there were heads stacked in the freezer on top of each other without any kind of like separation. They're just like stuffing
Oh, that's
heads.
foul.
Yeah, they were just stuffing body parts on top of each other, and there were
This is
like
like some Dahmer level shit.
barrels of like gore and guts and stuff that they were gonna like just throw out. So anyway, it got real interesting and real dark, and I was
So how
like,
does any of that become viable?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of like market this is, but it's like it's all very legal, and people are like buying these body parts. I think what it was is like they were sending them to like institutes that wanted to like new med students could operate on these parts or whatever for practice.
Well, it seems like it was very legal, but it's not anymore.
Yeah, they like you said they've
I'm very
really.
curious. I'm gonna have to deep dive into this because this is very interesting.
But the episode is only like an hour if you want to listen to it. Just look up Time Suck. It's the second most recent episode
Mm.
he's released. But anyway, I got a couple of stories from what he was talking about on there. So I said let's talk about these stories because I think it'll be an interesting episode. So I think by the end of it, we will say, we're not the world's greatest people, but we're not doing these things.
Right.
So that's the key to prove that we're not worse than these people.
Well, now I want to become a body broker, though.
It seems like a lot of really grody work. I was thinking about it earlier too because when I was younger, I was like, I want to be a doctor when I get older because doctors are really helpful and they make a lot of money, and so it's like the best of both worlds. And then I got a little bit older, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of fucking studying. I hate studying. That's why like my 3D printer is still not operational and I haven't fixed it yet because like I don't want to like study it to figure out what's wrong with it. Um, so we do have a few articles here of reasons why there should have been a long time ago in place these regulations and laws. So it's good that they're finally doing it. Um, but I've got a couple stories here, and we're going to talk about these two twins who.
Oh no,
Have you heard about this?
no! I'm already ready for it to be
Oh,
like the worst. Two
um,
twins, though.
yeah, these twins who basically use the obituaries like Tinder. So, this first one, police in Wisconsin received a call of suspicious activity at the St. Charles Catholic Cemetery in Cassville on September 2nd, 2006. When they arrived, they found Dustin Radke. Oh, there's three people, and twins Nicholas and Alexander Grunke. But if you have a last name like Grunke, you're
Grunky,
digging up corpses.
right?
You're bound by fate to dig up corpses for a living. All 20 years old, so this is fairly young, trying to dig up the body of Laura Tennyson, a 20-year-old woman who had been killed in a motorcycle crash. The three had seen her obituary and decided to dig up the body to have sex with the corpse. I wonder, we got to find pictures of these guys. So let's see here.
Isn't having sex with this okay? So did you ever see that movie called It Follows? Have you ever heard of it?
I've heard of it, but I've never
Okay,
seen
so
it.
it's based off of a guy who I don't want to. I'm just gonna say it. Anybody who hasn't seen it before and you plan on seeing it, it's a horror movie, and spoiler alert. So put a spoiler alert on the screen right here.
Right here.
Um,
Please, so I can have more.
this guy fucks corpses,
Uh-huh.
and then he also goes and fucks normal people or living people.
Uh-huh.
So he fucks this one girl after fucking a corpse. That girl then starts getting like sick, and um, she doesn't know what's going on. But then she has sex with her boyfriend, and it's like it's spreading.
Mm.
Well, then at the end of the movie, she finds out it's because he fucks corpses that he got this disease, but then it turns into like kind of like a horror aspect. And in real life, if you fuck corpses, you actually do run the risk of getting this disease that you can only get from like fucking animals and corpses.
What a wild disease to get. I have an image here for him.
Let me see it.
They definitely look like corpse fuckers. They 100% have not been laid up until they fucked a corpse.
Oh, they're incels for sure. Are they still? Is this how they are now, or that's the mugshots?
This was at the time when they were 20. So they would now be those 2006. So
Whoa! Just because it's not illegal doesn't mean it's okay.
yeah.
So you're telling me that it wasn't ever illegal to dig up a body and have sex with it?
I'm trying to find out where in the article. Grant County Circuit Judge George Curry dismissed the charges against twins Nicholas and Alexander Grunke and Dustin Radke, but they still face lesser charges. They were arrested in an attempt to dig up the girl. She was killed on August 27th. When was this that they tried to dig her up?
September.
September 2nd.
So she was.
So she was dead for like a week.
Yeah.
That's not very fresh. That's going to be very rigid and gross. So they saw her in the obituary. They said, that girl looked hot. And then they decided to dig up her corpse and have sex with it.
Oh, so there is okay. So in Wisconsin, the next paragraph of this article the first one we're reading is said that there is no law in Wisconsin outlawing necrophilia.
I see that here now too. But there was enough evidence to continue the case because of criminal damage to property and attempting to break into a burial vault. So they didn't get abuse of a corpse or necrophilia charges, but because they disturbed the property and caused damage, that's what they got charged on. How do you show your face after trying to dig up a corpse to fuck? Like, how do you go anywhere?
There's so many people that are. I'm like, how do you show your face? Like that one dude who was a swimmer and raped that girl outside of a
Oh
dumpster,
yeah,
and he continues to just think that he's Gucci and he's fine.
I forgot about that. That was a while ago. Jesus Christ, people are fucked up.
MSNBC, obviously in an effort to defend the assault on Western values, ran the following headline in connection with their necrophilia. Just because it's not illegal doesn't mean it's okay. Oh, that's what you have up on the screen.
That's the article.
So
too,
there are
NBC.
crimes that follow a person around for life or during his life. For these three, this crime will certainly not be forgotten soon. Somewhere in a street corner in Wisconsin, this person is turning to his friend saying, "You see that guy over there? Isn't he the one?"
I'm like, I mean, there's got to be a point. I mean, I guess at 20 you don't have a lot of money, but surely you can get a job pretty easy and then go hire a prostitute. But like, do they have some weird moral?
Okay, but also 20, not a lot of money going to hire a prostitute. How about you just be a normal fucking human?
Well, you saw the pictures of them. They're clearly not normal.
Yeah, you guys are gonna need to Google it.
I'll put it up so they can see.
But like, still,
Incels.
Someone is always into something that you're into, or someone is always into you, or will find you attractive somewhere somehow. So why didn't you're not gonna find love in a dead body?
You can find other things in a dead body. Some worms.
Can you imagine if they got worms?
Worms of the dick.
Oh,
Have to go to the hospital and explain how you got maggot
necrosis of the dick, and then it falls off because of that. Yeah, that would be.
I don't know what you do at that point if your dick shrivels up and falls off.
It wouldn't shrivel up; it would die and then fall off. Like it turns black and the tissue dies and everything, and then just falls off, and then you have to get a tube put in.
I would say, what do you sound like you're very experienced in this information?
Well, because there's people that don't have dicks, so you just get a tube put in.
Yeah, eunuchs like Lord Varys from Game of Thrones.
No, that was his testicles.
It was just his testicles. It wasn't his dick.
No, because your dick is not necessarily a sex. It's not a sex drive organ. It's a sexual organ, but the sex drive is the testicles.
How did we get here from this article?
I'm surprised you're even engaging in it, Winnie the Pooh.
Oh my god! back to
Also, isn't Winnie the Pooh a woman?
no, I, no,
Yes, I actually.
I don't think so. I mean, not that. I was gonna say, well, that wouldn't be right because then Winnie the Pooh's labia would be just flapping in the wind. But I guess it wouldn't be any different than his dick
Oh no,
flapping.
apparently Winnie the Pooh is a boy. But I remember there was this whole thing back in the day where people had not known if Winnie was a boy or a girl bear.
So I guess typically now Winnie is a female name, but I think Winnie was also a boy name like ages ago, like settler days.
That's exactly what it's on the screen right now.
That was a
It's
name.
in Welsh. In at it's Welsh, and yeah.
I God, I feel like I'm one of the three, but I kind of want to see what this girl looked like. What was the appeal that they're like? Yeah, I have to go fuck that one.
Laura, and like, but did they see her, or would you have just found?
They found the
Okay,
picture of the
she was pretty
obituary.
cute,
That makes me feel dirty that she was cute.
but like not to the point where I'm like, let's fucking pull up a body from the ground.
There had to have been better ways.
I hate it here. At the end of the day, I hate it here.
Better, just fucking like. I mean, I guess at least they didn't go out and gang rape someone. But now I feel like I'm defending them, which makes me feel like I'm in the wrong.
you would be a good defense lawyer for them.
Be like, Your
but-
Honor, yes, they were digging up a corpse to fuck her, but they didn't gang rape somebody. So that's a difference.
Yeah, they could have been in the streets.
They could have been in the streets raping people left and right. It's because what's turning the fucking frogs gay?
I don't remember.
Something's in the water turning the frogs gay.
Yeah, something. I don't remember what it was, but I know what you're talking about.
Fucking Alex Jones.
He'd
be a great defense attorney.
Oh, no, he would not.
He'd be a great defense attorney to laugh at, but not.
Yes, he's like it's like watching Rudy Giuliani try to defend somebody.
Do you fucking listen to? I mean, I'm sure you do because you follow politics. Again, we're not going to get into politics. This is very specifically about someone's person or their physical qualities, not that their like personality or political leaning. Fucking Trump's main attorney, his raspy ass voice.
No, the main attorney is Alina Hobbs.
What was that? What was the other? Maybe he's in one of the other cases.
I don't know.
The dude who was defending that the president had the right to assassinate his political.
Yeah, to kill his political. Yeah.
And he's like, Your Honor. And he's like, oh my God, please someone shoot him in the face right now. He should not be allowed to talk again. Everything.
Can you imagine being a Supreme Court justice and having to listen to that for hours? It's not just like a typical trial.
I would instantly be like, I don't care what your stance is. You're wrong. I'm voting on the other side.
Just to get you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, like you're not allowed to speak anymore until you just get to write down everything, and then we'll just draw this out another like 10 hours doing that. I listened to clips of him talking. I'm just like, please, just transcribe what happened. Just paraphrase it. Don't fucking let him talk.
Yeah, I don't even care what side of the aisle he's on. It's just like, if you sound like that, I can't listen to you.
Yeah, can you imagine how his dirty talk must be?
Why did you have to even put that in my head?
Now I want to get AI that will copy voices. I want to load his voice into it and then make it say a bunch of dirty things like he's trying to fuck someone. I feel like nobody else that's listening to this knows who we're talking about.
I hope not.
But because we follow politics so closely, we know exactly what the voice sounds like.
End it now. Put me out of my misery.
Oh,
so those auditions are starting next week.
What's wrong with me? My capabilities as your co-host. I feel like I'm doing fine. I gave you a little treat and you didn't appreciate it. You just gave it to your dog.
It's because it was a dog treat. I should have shown the camera, but it was a fucking blue buffalo dog treat.
You like to do doggy, from my understanding. Freaking tea like
do doggy or do doggies?
You fucking tell me.
Because you said you like to do doggy, and I'm like, but it has something to do with the dog treat. So were you trying to say that I fuck dogs?
Listen, man. I would say I'm not here to judge, but if you try to tell me, especially on an episode, that you fuck dogs, I have a cousin who supposedly does.
What?
Yeah. Speaking of fucked up things people are trying to fuck,
This is the perfect segue to the next story too.
I have a cousin who I don't know if it was officially like investigated by the law or whatever, But there was supposedly an investigation opened up into one of my cousins, female cousin, having sexual relations with her dog, and forcing her dog to actually penetrate her. And I don't know, like I said, if it was actually official or if this is just rumor amongst the family or whatever. But it was funny because like maybe a year later she got pregnant, and I said, with puppies.
Can you imagine if that like accidentally happened?
She got impregnated
Somehow
by
the body
dog.
just like evolved to let that happen. There would be some fucked up like.
I couldn't imagine. We're not gonna try to go into the logistics of having
I
sex
need to
with a
know.
dog.
I need to know. So necrophilia, bestiality, and things like that. How do you get to the point where you're like, I like that?
I think
Because I know that a lot of things, kinks and stuff, are either from trauma or you're just born with it.
let's see. Well, what was the correlation you made when I said it's like a gateway procession? What was it?
Oh, I'm going from a furry to someone tickling my feet.
No, it was something more. It was
It's a
something.
gateway drug.
Yeah, it was something like you were. I think it was the other way around. I think it was like you like being tickled.
No, it was the furry to the feet.
I don't know. I don't
But
think that was right.
That's a terrible progression, and it's just like, why would?
I think the first step to fucking a corpse or an animal is you have to look like those guys.
Yes, that has to be what it is.
Step
you have
one,
to be an incel.
You lost the genetic lottery.
If you are an incel, that's probably what's happening with you.
You also have the last name Grunky. That doesn't help anything.
Yeah, Grunky, Grundle. Oh my god! And so like I consistently am just like, why? And I wish that I took more of those human sexuality classes in college because so much of that shit was so interesting. And I remember one of the professors actually was like, I'm gonna dive into this and like explain these things, but I just didn't have the time to take the class. And it's just fucking wild to me that you're like, I'm gonna dig up a dead body, or I'm gonna become a mortician so I can fuck these bodies. Because that happens more often than people realize too.
Nicholas, what was Nicholas and Alexander?
Yeah.
I'm doing it. Where are they now? I'm curious if. Wait, is he dead?
Am I supposed to feel bad?
Man who died after standoff was. He is dead. One of them is dead. Oh god, he got ugly as an adult too. Oh, he looks like he turned into a pedophile.
Yeah, he does. Holy fuck.
The man of Dane County Sheriff said died after a standoff Wednesday night in the town of Albion, was charged in a 2006 case involving the attempted sexual assault of corpse. The case was eventually heard by the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Alexander Grunke, 38 of Milton, died Wednesday after Dane County Sheriff Calvin Barrett said he and a 13-year-old girl dropped off a 5-month-old child at a home in the town of Dunn, then led law enforcement on a vehicle pursuit that spanned across several jurisdictions.
He's on the sex offender registry.
So
he was.
So he was a sex offender. I said he grew up to look like a sex offender. He went from trying to fuck a corpse to fucking an underage girl.
Yep.
This is fucked. I mean, where do you really go from a corpse, though? It has to be underage girl or animals. This episode got way darker than I intended it to get. This was supposed to be good laugh.
So I was foreshadowing when I said it was going to be doom and gloom. I didn't realize. That is fucking insane.
I will get his picture.
God damn, this just like
this took a dark turn.
This just reaffirms that like I'm actually a better person than I thought I was.
All right, so we'll put up Alexander. It didn't mention his brother though. I don't think. Grunke was a person of interest in a homicide, so he also killed someone. 13-year-old girl and 5-month-old child who were with Grunke were the children of the homicide victim. This isn't Grunke's first run with law enforcement. Okay, they talk about the 2006 case with his brother and their friend. Grunke's and Radke were initially charged with attempted theft and attempted third-degree sexual assault. They dropped his charges. Blah, 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 blah. Case eventually heard by Supreme Court. I'm trying not to get back into the 2006 case. I'm trying to find out what's going on here. Alexander Grunke was arrested again in 2018 after police said he stole a gun from an office at Heller's Recycling on Marsh Road in Madison. He allegedly made statements about wanting to harm an ex-girlfriend. He actually got someone to fucking date him.
Jesus.
He was eventually arrested behind the Walmart along Walter.
If he wasn't going to get arrested behind a Walmart, I would have said like a Big Lots or a Dollar General.
Honestly, fucking hell. Pled guilty to charges of possessing a firearm as a convicted felon, and he was handed a 3-year probation sentence. There's no way you get charged with trying to fuck a corpse when you're 20, and then they're just like, "Yeah, we'll give you 3 years probation."
Well, they didn't have necrophilia, so it wasn't
Right, but I mean, just like you know about his past, you don't fucking just be like, "Yeah, 3 years probation should do the trick."
Right.
You'll recover from that.
Oh my god.
He was charged in March 2024, so this past March, with abduction of a child, interfering with child custody, and knowingly violating a domestic abuse order.
So they turned out to be great people.
Jesus Christ! All right, so that was Alex.
And then Nick is dead. No, that was Nicholas. Alex is dead.
Alex is dead. He's the one who did all that shit.
Yeah, and then Nicholas is the one that you just read about.
What did I?
Yeah, 2024.
Alex was arrested again. No, that's all Alex. So what happened to Nicholas Grunke? What's he up to these days?
One of them's dead.
Alex is dead. All that shit he did, he just got murdered this. Wait, was he murdered in 2018? What? Oh, I'm so confused. I've lost track.
All right, let's get back on track.
I don't know. Alexander's dead. The other dude, I can't remember his name. There's so much.
Nicholas.
No, not the other twin. The other one, the third kid.
Oh yeah.
He's a pedophile. They're all pedophiles by the sounds of it. I can't find anything on Nicholas now either. Either way, it's a clusterfuck. But I want to come back to when I was talking about my cousin who allegedly fucked dogs. I have to say allegedly because in case she finds this, I don't want there to be any accusations on my end. You said that was a perfect segue into the next segment, which has nothing to do with dogs at all.
So I don't remember exactly what the segue was, but rethinking the fact that it's your cousin supposedly fucking dogs, I think that's a great opportunity for Kay to transition. Kay is one of our listeners, to transition to not making fun of me anymore about my cousin and making fun of your cousin. And I don't care what you have to say about it, but I think it's a great opportunity.
Well, first off, I feel like you just did a Donald Trump mannerism because you were like, I can't even fucking do it anymore. It was something like, I don't know, it was just your hand gesture. You're like, Kay, one of our listeners. It was just like some very Trumpism.
Fine, we're gonna get past it. I don't remember what the actual.
But my cousin fucking a dog has nothing to do with what I've been doing with a cousin.
It's fine.
Which sounds like you're.
It's fine. It's another reason
cousin.
to make fun of a person with their cousin. It's fine. Anyways, I don't remember what the transition was, but I'm thinking that what maybe where my head was at is that it was necrophilia is a fucked up fetish. And then this next article that we have to cover before we close out the episode is also death related, and kinky sex related. So basically, this next article is, the headline is "Dead Sexy!" exclamation point. Woman caught at airport carrying boyfriend's ashes inside sex toy. So basically, what it is this lady she's 23 years old, and she had a TikTok video of her going through the United Arab Emirates airport. And she got stopped by security because she had a butt plug in, and it was metal, and the butt plug has her boyfriend's ashes in it.
So I get her boyfriend died. She wanted to commemorate him in a butt plug because that was the thing they enjoyed.
So the link in my mind is just like fucking a dead person and then having a dead person's ashes fuck you.
But my question is, why was it in? Why can't she have it in her luggage? It's not like it was going to weigh so much that it was going to outweigh her carry-on capacity.
Right, especially because if it's in your luggage, they're not going to question it.
There was no reason for her to carry a butt plug in her asshole while passing through security. There was no reason for it.
Maybe it's just one of those things where she just likes public sex.
That could be. 23, you're still young enough that you would engage in risky sex because it's a part of the
But I'm actually really shocked at how lucky she got, because it doesn't say where she was, I don't think. But United Arab Emirates, if it's in that Middle Eastern area, they don't fuck around with deviant sex shit.
Right.
And all she had to do was call the Australian embassy and she got home. She got really lucky.
So I think she was doing it for TikTok specifically, because it says that she had a TikTok video that raked in 4.9 million views. It said that her late boyfriend gave her the sex toy as a gag gift before he died. The intention was initially a joke because he spent so much time in there.
Oh my god!
I don't
Spent
care.
so much
I
time
don't
in
care
there.
how much you like anal. If you tell somebody that it's your boyfriend's favorite place because he spent so much time in there, it doesn't sound good no matter
No.
what. And it was his favorite place. She said, honestly, it's the funniest thing he's ever done. I'd spend my whole life laughing about it, which really beats crying. So like it was just like I think like a weird thing to do, and like also like you said, because some people will go into stores with the remote vibrators, and their partner will get them while they're walking
I have a
around.
friend who had a fling that was in California or some other state, and they were here, and the app was connected through their phones. So
Uh,
she would be at work, and he'd be messing with it,
uh,
and she would be getting the reactions like while she's at her desk.
I always wanted to do something like that, but now I'm boring and married, so
Mormon.
Mormon. Let the good Lord intend it.
So yeah, I thought this was a good way to just close it out. Just connection and just
But yeah, they pulled her aside about it. They were concerned that it was something like a weapon. She explained. She said, "I explained what it was, but there was a lady worker in earshot of that conversation, which led to some back and forth between us, and the male officials did not like the vulgarity I was using to explain." An hour later, a big official came and had us sign a super long foreign document and said if we went outside of the airport doors, we'd go to jail. Eventually, she and her pal were let go, but it's unclear if she was allowed to take the sex toy with her. She had to have taken the sex toy with her. They're going to take her boyfriend's ashes away.
yeah, I'm curious about that.
They don't offer us any closure to it other than that.
I love the ending of the article, and they said romance is dead.
And then you scroll down, and then you see sponsored stories also. I'm a 25-year-old nymphomaniac, and I can't stop masturbating at work and sleeping with my friends' parent or partners. Oh my god!
Why is the internet such a cesspool? But at the end of the day, that is why we're here. Is to
It's a bunch of ED advertisements and porn star stories, and then then just a little bit down further is the all new Jeep Grand Cherokee.
I have the new Outlander is here. Yeah, we don't have the
Uh,
same ones. I have a hummingbird feeder.
And then it gets into some weird shit like put a toilet paper roll under the toilet seat at night. I'm very curious about that, but not enough to click on
Yeah, don't click on
it.
it.
um,
But yeah,
so yeah, as it turns out, a lot of people are worried that the worst thing that can happen in life is death. But there are apparently things way worse after death, like someone digging your body up the fuck, or being put into a butt
can you
plug.
imagine if the afterlife is real and you're a ghost and you just like are looking over and you see like your body being dug up to be fucked? I would be like screaming in horror.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you see the three of them and how incelish they are,
Yeah,
I would absolutely be
absolutely
screaming.
terrible.
Probably enough to reconnect your body temporarily to like bitch slap a
Scare the
hoe.
shit out of them. Be like, she's not dead. She's not dead.
Oh my god, what a fucked up
We didn't
world.
want a live woman.
What a fucked up world we live in. Crack open a cold one with the homies. That's a whole new
Jesus
meaning.
Christ. Oh my god.
I think it's time to go home.
Yeah, I think so.
I probably should be home. My wife would like me to be home. I'm hungry. I'm tired. It's been a long day. We recorded 3 things today.
That's what she said in the last in that article. She said it's been a long day.
I agree with her. It has been a long. I don't have a butt plug in me, especially of a deceased loved ones. Um, I have decided I want to do something like that in my passing because let's be honest, I will inevitably pass before Kristen. My nature is to do something stupid that will get me killed, or my energy drink habits over sleeping regularly, or my fast food habits over packing a well balanced lunch. Something is going to kill me sooner than Kristen is going to go, and her spite's going to keep her living forever.
I was just gonna say this. The spider is gonna keep her alive.
Old spiteful women live for fucking ever because they will not die. They refuse to give anyone the satisfaction.
Yep.
So Kristen Spite's going to make her go like 10, 15 years beyond me. I'm going to die at like 62.
You're gonna leave her a butt plug?
Yeah, well, not a butt plug necessarily, but maybe I'll do some kind of combination. I'll put it in my will that I want my ashes put into a butt plug, a dildo, and I'll make her the penis replica, the mold. I'll use the mold to give her a penis.
So isn't that the same thing as a dildo? Why don't you just do that? Knock it out 2 birds, 1 stone.
Because I want my ashes in one dildo.
Oh.
I want to give her as many ways to go fuck herself as I can beyond the grave.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm gonna find some way to get the last laugh in the afterlife, and then hopefully not be dug up and butt fucked by some weird, creepy 20-year-olds.
Oh god.
Well, I think this one's gonna be a pretty easy wrap up. I think in the end, we're not the world's greatest people, but we are not digging up corpses to butt fuck them.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess no one was guaranteeing they were being butt fucked, but let's be honest, they were gonna put in her butt.
Yeah.
They were probably gonna 3-way that bitch.
Oh yeah.
That.
Open that mouth. Open that throat up.
Oh my god. That sounds so much worse.
I know. I didn't say I was an amazing person. I'm just an okay person.
I think we went from being able to defend we're not the world's worst people or the world's greatest people, and then we just plummeted a little bit with you saying, between me saying, "Oh, crack open a cold one with the homies," and you saying, "Get that throat open." I think that's probably about where we should end before it gets worse than that.
It's just gonna get worse.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening. Follow us on all the places that we have. I think it's all of our socials are Great Friends OK People. If you go to our Facebook page, just search Great Friends OK People. You'll find our logo on there. It's pretty easy to find. You can find all of our socials, our TikTok, our Instagram, our Threads, which I don't think is being utilized whatsoever. We probably just might get rid of Threads. I use Threads on a regular basis. Every once in a great while. We post reels, we post TikToks of clips of the show. We're gonna eventually start doing stuff. We have a great skit in mind. We've already got the woman picked out.
Oh god,
for
just
that
save
skit.
that. Just don't even ruin what it is.
I was gonna say I don't think we talked about it because it was in our bullshitting before the recording or while the recording was starting up. So we got a great skit in mind. So I think that would be a good one to put on that page too. So follow us for the good stuff, for updates. I'm gonna work on a website one day.
We'll get there.
We got a lot to do. We got a lot to get Kristen to allow us to do. We
Right.
got to get her pushed a lot further first. But yeah, follow us. And if you want to follow me personally on any of my places, I'm pretty much Unfeeling Dragon, all one word, spelled exactly as it sounds, on all of the socials, the Twitter, actually, whatever you're going to call it, which I don't even know why I'm there anymore. It's just become a cesspool of incels.
I'm not on there anymore.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you can find me on there. I'm on Threads. Don't follow me on Threads. I don't post on Threads. I think last time I went to go post on Threads, it was like your last thread was like 4 weeks ago. I'm like, yeah, sounds right.
Yeah, I get notifications for it all the time, and I like it, but I just don't have the stamina to.
Twitter really ruined us.
Yeah, I don't have the stamina to add another social media platform.
Yeah,
but I'm Reverend Topola or President Topola on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. One of them.
Well, not Facebook. Facebook would just be your name.
No, my URL is. One of those.
I wonder what my URL is. Surely it's not Unfeeling Dragon.
I custom made mine.
Oh, mine's probably just a bunch of numbers and letters.
No, yeah, I custom made mine years ago. It's President Topola, I think.
Yeah.
But same username across one of those usernames across all platforms.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for us then this week. Thank you again for popping in. Hopefully, we didn't scare you off.
I don't think so.
I think it is. What was the feedback we'd gotten recently? Each episode becomes more and more
unhinged, and that's the best part. That is my favorite part. So we will see you next week.
Yeah.